Good evening, teacher.
Good evening, guys. Thank you so much for connecting. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate a lot. And you're doing wonderful with the time and responsibility of worker. So thank you so much for being here, guys, and thank you so much for connecting. Now let's start over here. Good evening, Norbert. Good evening, Georgina. Good evening, Marta. Good evening, Oliver. Good evening, Gladys. Good evening, Katie. Good evening, Pamela. Good evening, Fatima. Good evening, Edith. Good evening, Jose. Thank you so much for connecting, guys, and thank you so much for being here. It's super punctual. Now let's start with the first thing, guys, so we can start discussing. And in the previous class, we were talking about the frequency adverbs and food. So let me share with you the question over here. So tell me over here. How often?
Good evening, teacher.
Good evening. How often do you eat? Let me see. Chinese food, I will say. I will say pupusas. Pupusas. Now, everybody repeat, please. How often do you eat pupusas?
How often do you eat
Do you
For example, I usually eat pupusas. Pupusas. Now, everybody repeat, please. I usually eat pupusas.
I usually eat pupusas.
It's pupusas?
Yes. What about you? Tell me, how often do you eat pupusas? You have 30 seconds. Write your sentence in your notebook and tell me, how often do you eat pupusas? Please. 30 seconds, go. Tell me, how often do you eat pupusas? Please. Okay, let me check the answers. And let me go over here. So tell me, Elida Hernandez, how often do you eat pupusas?
I always eat beans and pupusa. I'm sorry.
¿Con frecuencia comes pupusas?
I always eat pupusas.
Thank you. What about you, Norbia? How often do you eat pupusas?
How often pupusas, teacher? Usually.
So I always eat pupusas.
Okay.
Thank you. Marta, how often do you eat pupusas?
I usually eat pupusas.
Thank you. Claribel, how often do you eat pupusas?
I eat pupusas in weekend.
Thank you. What about you, Edith Gabriela? How often do you eat pupusas?
I usually eat pupusas.
Thank you. What about you, Silvia Noemi? How often do you eat pupusas?
I usually eat pupusas and lasagna.
Thank you. What about you, Sandra Carolina? How often do you eat pupusas?
I always eat pupusas on weekend.
Thank you. Gladys Margarita, how often do you eat pupusas?
I always eat pupusas on Sunday.
Thank you. Douglas, how often do you eat pupusas?
I usually eat pupusas.
Thank you. What about you? Sorry, Carlos Mauricio, how often do you eat pupusas?
I sometimes eat pupusas.
Thank you. Amber, how often do you eat pupusas?
I sometimes eat pupusas.
Thank you. What about Georgina? How often do you eat pupusas?
I usually eat pupusas on the weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate Kaylee Stephanie. How often do you eat pupusas? I think that's she already. Okay, Pamela Jasmine, tell me, how often do you eat pupusas?
I always eat pupusas on Sunday.
Thank you. Fatima Lucia, how often do you eat pupusas?
I hardly ever eat pupusas.
I hardly ever eat pupusas. Cool, that's a good one. What about you, Jose Arturo? How often do you eat pupusas?
I eat pupusas on once a month.
Once a month? Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate. Now, thank you guys for your answers. You are doing super incredible. You are doing super nice. And thank you so much for your answers over there. Now, let me go with the next activity over here, guys. And according to the last class, we were talking about the frequency adverbs. We were completing the activities. We were completing the sentences. So, yes. Now let me go with this. Now we are going to listen. Carrots are my favorite. So we're going to listen to Devon and Victoria. Amber, help me to read the directions, please. Devon and Victoria.
Can you repeat, please?
Read Devon and Victoria.
Devon and Victoria are talking about food. How often does Victoria eat this food?
Thank you. Listen and check often, sometimes, or never. So we are going to listen to the audio. We are going to listen to the conversation. So please pay attention to the details over here.
Page 62. Exercise 8. Listening. Carrots are my favorite. Part A. Devon and Victoria are talking about food. How often does Victoria eat these foods? Listen and check often, sometimes, or never.
So, what looks good, Victoria?
I don't know yet.
Well, the soup is really good. Do you like noodles?
Oh, yeah. I often eat noodles for lunch. I just don't want them tonight.
Okay. Well, the chicken is great here. How about that?
Oh, no. I never eat chicken. I don't like meat.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I have fish or eggs, but I never eat chicken or beef.
So, do you eat a lot of vegetables?
Yes. Carrots are my favorite. I often have some in the afternoon for a snack.
Okay, let me play the audio one more time.
Page 62. Exercise 8. Listening. Carrots are my favorite. Part A. Devon and Victoria are talking about food. How often does Victoria eat these foods? Listen and check often, sometimes, or never.
So, what looks good, Victoria?
I don't know yet.
Well, the soup is really good. Do you like noodles?
Oh, yeah. I often eat noodles for lunch. I just don't want them tonight.
Okay. Well, the chicken is great here. How about that?
Oh, no. I never eat chicken. I don't like meat.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I have fish or eggs, but I never eat chicken or beef.
So, do you eat a lot of vegetables?
Yes. Carrots are my favorite. I often have some in the afternoon for a snack.
Okay, let me play it one more time.
Page 62. Exercise 8. Listening. Carrots are my favorite. Part A. Devon and Victoria are talking about food. How often does Victoria eat these foods? Listen and check often, sometimes, or never.
So, what looks good, Victoria?
I don't know yet.
Well, the soup is really good. Do you like noodles?
Oh, yeah. I often eat noodles for lunch. I just don't want them tonight.
Okay. Well, the chicken is great here. How about that?
Oh, no. I never eat chicken. I don't like meat.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I have fish or eggs, but I never eat chicken or beef.
So, do you eat a lot of vegetables?
Yes, carrots are my favorite. I often have some in the afternoon for a snack.
Okay, let me go with this. Now, do you need that I play the audio one more time or do you have the answers?
I have the answer.
Okay, you have the answers. Okay, if you have the answers, you are going to discuss with your classmates over there which ones are the answers. So we can check then in general what are the answers. So discuss with your classmates about what are the answers of the audio, please. Let's go to the breakup rooms. Okay, let's go to the breakup rooms right now. Okay, right now. Okay, guys, thank you so much for practicing. Thank you so much for discussing. And thank you so much for being here. Now, let me ask you, how often does she eat chicken?
Never.
Never.
Never teach.
Never?
Never.
My God, it's so delicious, super sad.
Never.
Okay, what about fish?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Time.
Times. Okay, what about eggs?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Time.
What about carrots?
Often.
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 Often. Okay, then we go with off. Okay, let me ask you. How often do you eat noodles? How often do you eat chicken? How often do you eat eggs? And how often do you eat carrots? So you are going to give me your personal answer. I want to know how often do you eat this kind of food. For example, in my personal case, I never eat noodles, never. I often eat chicken. I sometimes eat fish. I often eat eggs. And I sometimes eat carrots. What about you? Tell me, how often do you eat this food? So let's go to the breakup rooms, discuss with your classmates, and tell me how often do you eat this food? Let's go to the breakup rooms. Remember that it's about you, and only you. Okay, guys, we are going to check your answers and let's start over here asking you. Amber, tell me, how often do you eat noodles?
I sometimes eat noodles.
Tell me, Amber, with the question to Kaylee Stephanie, please.
Kaylee, how often do you eat fish?
I never eat fish.
Thank you. Kaylee, again with the question to Ana Cecilia.
How often do you eat carrots?
Ana Cecilia, how often do you eat carrots?
Carrots, sometime. I eat carrots sometime.
I sometimes eat carrots. Now let's go with Ana. With the question to Mirna Vanessa.
Mirna Vanessa, how often you eat chicken?
Mirna Vanessa.
Hello.
Perdón, tenía en mute. I often eat chicken.
Thank you. Mirna, go with the question to Elida Hernandez.
Okay, Ellie, how often do you eat eggs?
I sometimes eat egg.
Thank you. Elida, go with the question to Sandra Carolina.
Sandra Carolina, how often do you eat fish?
I sometimes eat fish.
Sandra, go with the question to Georgina Eugenia.
Okay. How often do you eat noodles?
You're on mute, Georgina.
I sometimes eat noodles.
Thank you. What about you, Martelena? Sorry, the question, Georgina, to Martelena, please.
Marcelena, often do you drink carao? Fresh carao?
I never eat carao.
Okay. Now with the question, Martelena, to Carlos Mauricio, please.
Carlos Mauricio, how often do you eat fish?
I sometimes eat fish.
Thank you, Carlos. Can we with the question to Sandra Juliet?
Sandra, how often do you eat pacaya?
I never. I never pacaya.
I never eat pacaya. Now, can we Sandra with the question to Edith Gabriela?
Edith, how I often eat chicken.
I always eat chicken.
Thank you, Gabriela. Can we with the question to Gladys Margarita?
Gladys Margarita, how often do you eat carrots?
I sometimes eat carrot.
Thank you. Can we with the question, Gladys to Silvia Noemi?
Silvia Noemi, how often do you eat chicken?
I often eat chicken.
Thank you, Silvia. Can we with the question to Norbia Ruth?
Norbia, how often do you eat fish?
Often eat fish often.
Okay, Norbia, can we with the question to Claribel?
Okay, Claribel, how often do you eat carrots?
I usually eat salad chicken.
Okay.
Thank you, Claribel. Can we with the question to Enrique Edgardo?
Enrique Edgardo, How often do you eat fish?
I sometimes eat fish.
Enrique, come with the question to the class.
Douglas, how often do you eat eggs?
I often eat eggs.
Douglas, come with the question to Anna Ruth.
Anna Ruth, I often do you eat chicken?
I sometimes eat chicken.
Thank you. Now, Anna, come with the question to Esau Amaya.
Do you often fish? Eat fish?
Hey, how often do you eat fish, Esau?
Sometimes I eat sometimes fish.
Thank you, Corina Lemus. Come with the question to Esau. Sorry, Esau, come with the question to Corina, please. You're on mute, Esau.
So, sorry. How often do you eat fish?
I sometimes eat fish.
Thank you, Corina.
Okay.
Come with the question to Pamela Jasmine.
Okay, Pamela, Jasmine, how often do you eat carrots?
I sometimes eat carrots.
Thank you. Help me, Pamela, with the question to Jose Arturo.
Jose Arturo, how often do you eat chicken?
Um, I I often eat chicken.
Jose, come with the question to Fatima Lucia.
Fatima, how often do you eat noodles?
I never eat noodles.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. Good job over there, guys, by having the questions. Good job by answering over there. Now, over here, guys, we have some question and it says, do you always have a big breakfast? What time do you usually have lunch? What do you usually have for lunch? Do you often have snacks in the afternoon? Do you ever go to a restaurant for dinner? What's something you never eat for dinner? So those are your questions. And those are the questions that you are going to discuss with your classmates. So let me share with you the picture. Over there you have the picture. And before you go to the breakup rooms, everybody look at the camera, please. I will take the screenshot. 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you. Let me share with you the picture. Okay, there we are. So let's go to the breakup rooms, guys. Practice over there. Prepare your answers. Practice the questions. Let's go to the breakup rooms right now. Okay, guys, thank you so much for providing your answers. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate a lot, and thank you so much for being ready over there. So let's start with Sandra Carolina. Tell me, do you always have a big breakfast?
No, I never have a big breakfast.
Thank you. Come with the question to Kelly Stephanie, please.
What time do you usually have lunch?
I usually have lunch at 12 p.m.
Thank you, Kaylee. Come with the question to Carlos Mauricio.
What do you usually have for lunch?
I usually have rice and chicken for the lunch.
Thank you. What about you, Carlos? Come with the question to Elida.
Do you often have a snack in the afternoon?
No, I have snacks in the afternoon.
Oh, Elida, again with the question to Mirna Vanessa.
Mirna Vanessa, what's sometimes you never eat for dinner?
Yes, I have to restaurant for dinner.
Okay, you never go for a restaurant on dinner. Okay, let me go, Mirna. Come with the question to Jacqueline Lizette.
Jacqueline, what sometimes do you never eat for dinner?
¿Cuál pregunta es? Me perdí.
Spanish.
Six.
The last one.
Six.
What something you never
What?
eat for dinner?
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
that's something that you never eat for dinner.
You never eat. You never eat.
I
I
never eat.
never eat fish. I never
Oh, that's
eat.
good.
I never drink coffee because
Cool, thank you.
I never never
Thank you,
drink
thank you,
coffee.
thank you. Now, Jacqueline, come with the question to Esau Amaya, please.
Esau, do you always have a big breakfast?
Esau, mute microphone.
Oh, sorry. I always have a big breakfast. It's the
Thank you,
most
Esau.
important.
Come with the question to Ana Cecilia.
Ana Cecilia, how often do you eat pupusas for dinner?
Ana, you are on mute. Microphone, microphone, microphone.
Oh, excuse me, repeat the answer.
The
The
question.
Answer or a question? How often do you eat pupusas for dinner?
I eat the pupusas often.
Okay, not so often. Okay, Anna, come with the question to, let me see, Sandra Juliet.
Sandra Juliet. Sandra Juliet. What do you often have snacks in the afternoon?
I sometimes.
Okay, come with the question, Sandra, to Georgina Eugenia.
Georgina, do you always have a big breakfast?
Yes, always.
Georgina, come with the question to Marta Elena, please.
Marta Elena, what time do you usually have lunch?
I usually at 3 p.m.
Marta, come with the question to Amber.
Amber, what do you usually have for lunch?
I usually
have rice and chicken.
Thank you, Amber. Can we question to Norbia Ruth?
Norbia, what's something you never eat for dinner?
Never eats. No.
No, what? You never eat what? You're on mute. I'm so sorry. On mute, microphone.
Please, teacher, please. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
When sometimes you never ate a dinner. No, never ate a dinner.
But what? Sardines, hot dogs, potatoes, fried fish, snacks. What don't you ever, never eat for dinner? Never.
Never.
What do you never eat?
Never usuri.
But I never eat what? What is the food?
No, never, teacher.
What is the food? What is the name?
The food.
¿Cuál es la comida que nunca come?
huevo, chicken, beef.
Please. Egg, carrot, and
Okay, you never
nuggets.
eat carrots. Okay, repeat after me. I never eat nuggets.
I never eat
noodles.
Thank you so much.
Nuggets.
What is nuggets?
Nuggets, the ones that we have here in El Salvador from Pollo Indio. Those are nuggets.
Medallones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Patties.
In English are nuggets. Now let's go with this. Come with the question, Norbia, to Enrique Edgardo.
Okay, do you ever go to a restaurant for dinner, Edgardo?
Thank you.
Do you ever go to a restaurant? Sometimes I go to restaurant for dinner.
Okay.
Oh, Edgardo, come with the question to Douglas.
Douglas, what do you usually have for lunch?
Douglas?
Las 12 p.m.
Repeat the question one more time, Enrique.
What do you usually have for lunch?
What do you usually have for lunch, or what do you usually eat for lunch? Douglas.
Coffee. It's coffee.
What do you usually have for lunch? Spaghetti, pizza.
Chicken with rice.
Chicken,
Hamburger.
meat, rice, hamburger.
Chicken.
So I
Chicken,
usually
rice.
have chicken.
I usually
have chicken.
I usually have
chicken.
Chicken.
Thank you. Douglas, come with the question to Mirna Calderón.
Mirna Calderón. What time do you usually have lunch?
Okay.
I usually have lunch is 11.
Okay, thank you. Now let me go with, let me see who is missing. Pamela, Jasmine, Mirna. Come with the question to Pamela.
Do you often have a snack in the afternoon?
Thank you.
I often eat an apple like a snack in afternoon.
Pamela, come with the question to Jose Arturo.
Do you ever go to a restaurant for dinner?
I never.
Thank you. Jose, come with the question to Fatima Lucia.
Fatima, what time do you usually have lunch?
Fatima Lucia, 5, Fatima Lucia.
10 at 12 o'clock.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. Now, thank you guys for your answers. Thank you so much for the questions, and thank you so much for being there. So right now, guys, we are going to plan a party. And over here we have, some foods. For example, we have almonds, we have vegetables and dip, we have cake, we have candies, we have chocolate, we have cookies, corn chips, we have grapes, we have hot dogs, we have ice cream, we have peanuts, pineapple, pizza, popcorn, potato chips, and watermelon. So tell me, what would you offer to people in the party? What would you give for food in the party? Let me take the screenshot so you can prepare your answers and you can tell me what food would you give in the party. So would you give cookies? Will you give cake? Will you give over there in a pizza? Would you give, for example, I don't know, would you give watermelon? Would you give popcorn? Would you give potato chips? So you are going to tell me what would you give in the party? So let me share with you the pictures. There you have. Discuss with your classmates and tell me what would you give in the party, please. Let's go to the breakup rooms right now. Now we're recreating the rooms. 1 second. Okay, let me go here. Okay, let me go with this. And let me ask you. Now, Kelly, Stephanie, tell me, what would you give in a party?
For sweet, I want to serve chocolate cake and ice cream. And for salty, potato chips and popcorn.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Now, tell me, Kaylee, with the question to Sandra Carolina. Kaylee, the question.
What do you want to serve in the party?
Cool, thank you. Sandra.
I want to serve vegetable and dip, ice cream and hot dogs.
Thank you. Help me with the question, Sandra, to Carlos Mauricio.
What would you give to the party?
I serve cake, ice cream, and chocolate.
Okay.
Thank you, Carlos. Help me with the question to Mirna Vanessa.
What do you serve in the party?
I want server corn chip, potato chip, pizza, cake, y ice cream.
Thank you, Mirna. Help me with the question to Marta Elena.
Martelena, what do you serve at your party?
An ice cream, cookies, corn chips, potato chips, and hot dogs.
Thank you. Help me, Marta, with the question to Georgina.
Georgina, what do you serve at a party?
Sweet ice cream, cake, salty popcorn, pizza.
Thank you, Georgina. Help me with the question to Corina Lemus.
Corina Lemus, what do you serve at your party?
I serve cake, and for the sweet option, I serve cake and ice cream. For salty, hot dogs and pizza.
Okay.
Corina, help me with the question to Norbia Ruth.
Okay, Norbia Ruth, what would you serve at your party?
One serving case, candy, toys, ice cream, food.
Thank you, Norbia. Help me with the question to Gloribel.
Okay, Claribel, what do you want parties serving?
Okay, what do you want to serve in the party, Gloribel?
I usually eat I usually eat cakes, candy, ice cream, cookies in the day.
Oh, help me, Gloribel, the question to Amber.
And what do you eat in the day?
Chocolate, hot dogs, corn chips, and popcorn, and cake.
Thank you. Amber, help me with the question to Edith Gabriela.
Edith, what will you eat in the party?
Almonds, popcorn, chocolate, and ice cream.
Cool. Edith, help me with the question to Silvia Noemi.
Sylvia, what would you serve at the party?
Hot dog, ice cream, pizza, cake, candy, popcorn.
Thank you. Help me with the question to Gladys Margarita, please.
Gladys Margarita, what do you celebrate in the party?
I want served hot dog, corn chip, grapes, and cake.
Thank you, Gladys. Help me with the question to Douglas.
Douglas, what do you serve at your party?
Cookies, corn chip, hot dog, Ice cream.
Thank you, Douglas. Come with a question to Anna Ruth.
Anna Ruth, what do you eat in the party?
What do you eat in the party or what do you serve in the party, Anna?
Everybody, hot dog, potato, pizza, and cake, ice cream.
Thank you. Now come with a question, Anna, to Mirna Calderon.
Mirna, what do you serve in your party?
Mirna, you are on mute.
I usually eat hot dog, pizza, cake, and cookies, and almond in the party.
Thank you. Tell me, Mirna, with the question to, let me see, Rosa Idalia.
Rosa Idalia, what do you eat in the party?
I serve in my party is chocolate, ice cream, hot dog, popcorn, pizza. That's
Oh, come with the question, Rosa, to, let me go. Pamela Jasmine, please.
okay. Pamela, what do you serve in your party?
I would like serve ice cream and cookies for the sweet options, and for the salty options, hot dog and pizza.
Come with the question to Esau Amaya, please.
So, what would you serve for a party?
Peanuts, ice cream, hot dog, and pizza.
Thank you. Now come with the question to Jose Arturo, please.
Arturo, what would you like to eat at the party?
I will serve hot dogs, ice cream, and grapes.
Okay, come with the question, Arturo, to Fatima.
Fatima, what would you serve for the party?
I want to serve pizza, peanuts, cake, and cookies.
Thank you so much. You are doing great over there. Thank you guys for discussing, and let's move on over here. So we are going to read over here. It's a food festival. So we are going to read about this one. And first, let me take the screenshot so we can read it over here. Just give me 1 second. Let me make it a little bit small. Okay, let me take the first screenshot. Okay, there you have. And let me go over here with the next one. Okay, there you have. So right now, let me play the audio. Let me play over here so we can listen to the information that we have over here. So let me play the audio.
Page 63, Exercise 11. Reading. It's a food festival. La tomatina. People usually eat tomatoes, but once a year in Buñol, Spain, people just throw them. Yes, that's correct. The whole town of Buñol has a giant tomato fight. It's very messy. By the end of the day, there are squashed tomatoes all over town. In fact, there are 120 tons of squashed tomatoes. Garlic Festival. All over the world, people use garlic in their cooking. Some people in California in the U.S. really like garlic. They like it so much that every year they celebrate it with a garlic festival. You can taste garlic in everything you can think of. There's even garlic ice cream and garlic popcorn. Monkey Buffet Festival. There's something very interesting about this food festival. It's not for people, it's for monkeys. In Lopburi, Thailand, people bring all kinds of different fruits and leave them out for the monkeys to eat. They bring pineapples, apples, mangoes, and bananas, of course. It's the people's way of saying thank you to the monkeys. That's because tourists come to see the monkeys, and that helps the people's businesses. Isn't that cool? Bread for the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is a very important day in Mexico. Many people celebrate their family members and friends by baking special bread. They make bread in the shape of humans, flowers, bones, and animals. The bread is sweet, and sometimes it has anise seeds or orange in it.
Okay, let me play the audio one more time.
Page 63. Exercise 11. Reading. It's a food festival. La tomatina. People usually eat tomatoes, but once a year in Buñol, Spain, people just throw them. Yes, that's correct. The whole town of Buñol has a giant tomato fight. It's very messy. By the end of the day, there are squashed tomatoes all over town. In fact, there are 120 tons of squashed tomatoes. Garlic Festival. All over the world, people use garlic in their cooking. Some people in California in the U.S. really like garlic. They like it so much that every year they celebrate it with a garlic festival. You can taste garlic in everything you can think of. There's even garlic ice cream and garlic popcorn. Monkey Buffet Festival. There's something very interesting about this food festival. It's not for people, it's for monkeys. In Lopburi, Thailand, people bring all kinds of different fruits and leave them out for the monkeys to eat. They bring pineapples, apples, mangoes, and bananas, of course. It's the people's way of saying thank you to the monkeys. That's because tourists come to see the monkeys, and that helps the people's businesses. Isn't that cool? Bread for the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is a very important day in Mexico. Many people celebrate their family members and friends by baking special bread. They make bread in the shape of humans, flowers, bones, and animals. The bread is sweet, and sometimes it has anise seeds or orange in it.
Well, let me play it the last time.
Page 63. Exercise 11. Reading. It's a food festival. La tomatina. People usually eat tomatoes, but once a year in Buñol, Spain, people just throw them. Yes, that's correct. The whole town of Buñol has a giant tomato fight. It's very messy. By the end of the day, there are squashed tomatoes all over town. In fact, there are 120 tons of squashed tomatoes. Garlic Festival. All over the world, people use garlic in their cooking. Some people in California in the US really like garlic. They like it so much that every year they celebrate it with a garlic festival. You can taste garlic in everything you can think of. There's even garlic ice cream and garlic popcorn. Monkey Buffet Festival. There's something very interesting about this food festival. It's not for people. It's for monkeys. In Lopburi, Thailand, people bring all kinds of different fruits and leave them out for the monkeys to eat. They bring pineapples, apples, mangoes, and bananas, of course. It's the people's way of saying thank you to the monkeys. That's because tourists come to see the monkeys, and that helps the people's businesses. Isn't that cool? Bread for the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is a very important day in Mexico. Many people celebrate their family members and friends by baking special bread. They make bread in the shape of humans, flowers, bones, and animals. The bread is sweet and sometimes it has anise seeds or orange in it.
Okay, now what are we going to do? We are going to read about the fall festival so you can practice the pronunciation. You are going to read La Tomatina, you are going to read Garlic Festival, you are going to read about the Monkey Buffet Festival, you are going to read about Bread for the Day of the Dead. So you are going to practice your pronunciation with your classmates. So let's get to break up rooms, practice your pronunciation, and get it ready over there. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for getting ready, and thank you so much for practicing with your classmates and pronunciation. So we're going to start reading over here. We are going to read about La Tomatina. So let me go over here. How to read about La Tomatina, Sandra Carolina?
La tomatina. People usually eat tomatoes, but once a year in Buñol, Spain, people just throw them. Yes, yes, that's correct. The whole town of Buñol has a giant tomato fight. It's very messy. By the end of the day, there are squashed tomatoes all over town. In fact, there are 120 tons of squashed tomatoes.
Thank you so much. Let's continue with the garlic festival. Carlos Mauricio.
All over the world, people use garlic in their cooking. Some people in California in US really like garlic. They like it so much that every year they're celebrating it with a garlic festival. Of can taste garlic in everything you can think of. This There's even garlic ice cream and garlic popcorn.
Thank you. Tell me with the Monkey Buffet Festival, Jacqueline Lisette. Let me go with the Monkey Buffet.
Monkey Buffet Festival. There's sometimes very interesting about this food festival. It's not for people, it's for monkeys. In Lautari, Thailand, people bring in kinds of different fruits and leave them out for the monkeys to eat. They bring pineapples, apples, mangoes, and bananas. Of course, it's the people way of saying thank you to the monkeys. That's because tourists come to see the monkeys, and that helps the people business. Isn't that cool?
Thank you so much. Come with the bread for the Day of the Dead. And let's continue with Mirna Vanessa.
Okay. Bread for the Day of the Dead. The Day of the Dead is a very important day in Mexico. Many people celebrate their family member and friends by baking special bread. They make bread in the shape of human, flower, bones, and animal. The bread is sweet and sometimes it has any seed or orange in it.
Thank you so much. Continue, Enrique, with the tomatina. Just 1 second.
La tomatina. People usually eat tomatoes, but once a year in Buñol, Spain. People used to them? Yes, that's correct. The whole town of Buñol has a giant tomato fight. It's very messy. By the end of the day, there are squashed tomatoes all over town. In fact, there are 120 tons of squashed tomatoes.
Yeah, continue with the garlic festival. Let me see who's my next volunteer. Sandra Juliet.
Darling Festival. All over the world, people using darling in their cooking. Sometimes people in California, in the US, really like garlic. They like it so much that every year they celebrate it with a garlic festival. You can taste it, garlic in everything you can think of. There's even garlic ice cream and garlic popcorn.
Thank you so much. Tell me, please, Martelena, with the Monkey Buffet Festival.
Monkey Buffet Festival. There is sometimes very interesting about this food festival. It's not for people, it's for monkeys. In lovely Thailand, people bring kids of different fruits and leave them all for the monkeys to eat. They breed pineapples, apples, mangoes, and bananas, of course. If the people waste of science, thank you to the monkeys. That's because tourists come to see you monkeys, and that's help the people business isn't that cool.
Continue over there with Kaylee Stefan. Tell me with bread for the Day of the Dead.
The date of the dead is very important day in Mexico. Many people celebrate their family members and friends by baking a special bread. They make bread in the shape of humans, flowers, bones, and animals. The bread is sweet and sometimes it has anise seeds or orange in it.
Thank you, appreciate. Let's continue with La Tomatina one more time. Let me go with La Tomatina. Corina Lemus. La Tomatina.
Okay. La tomatina. People usually eat tomatoes, but once a year in Buñol, Spain, people just throw them. Yes, that's correct. The whole town of Buñol has a giant tomato fight. It's very messy. By the end of the day, there are squashed tomatoes all over town. In fact, there are 120 tons of squashed tomatoes.
Oh, thank you. Come with the Garlic Festival. Let's continue. Norbia Ruth.
Okay. Us over the world, people use garlic in entering cooking. Some people in California and the USA really like garlic. They like it so much. What's very great. They severely it's with a garlic festival. You can taste garlic in everything you can think of there ever garlic ice cream. I garlic cutport.
Tell me with the Monkey Festival, Buffet Festival, Silvia Noemi.
Monkey Buffet Festival. There something very interesting about this food festival. It's not for people, it's for monkeys. In Lotbury, Thailand, people bring or kills of different fruit. Leave them out for the monkeys to eat. They bring pineapples, apples, mangoes, and bananas, of course. It's the people's way of saying thank you to the monkeys. That because tourists come to see the monkeys and that helps the people business is that cool.
Thank you so much. Businesses isn't that cool. Let me go with the bread for the Day of the Dead. And my next volunteer will be Gloribel.
What?
The Day of the Dead.
The day on the day. The Day of the Dead is a very important day in Mexico. Many people celebrate the family, members, and friends. By baking special bread, they make bread in the shape of humans, flowers, bones, and animals. The bread is sweet and sometimes it has Irish cheese or oils is in it.
Thank you. Let me go with la tomatina. And my next volunteer with la tomatina will be Gladys Margarita. Come with la tomatina.
La tomatina. People usually eat tomatoes, but once a year in Buñol, Spain, people just throw them. Yes, that's correct. The whole town of Buñol has a giant tomato fight. It's very messy. By the end of the day, there are squashed tomatoes all over town. In fact, there are 120 tons of squashed tomatoes.
Thank you. Let's continue with the garlic festival. Douglas.
Garlic Festival. All over the world, people use garlic in their cooking. Some peoples in California, in the USA, really like garlic. They like it so much that every year they celebrate it with a garlic festival. You can taste garlic in everything you can think of. They even garlic ice cream and garlic popcorn.
Thank you. Come with the Monkey Buffet Festival. Let's continue with Mirna Calderon.
Monkey Festival, Monkey Buffet Festival. There's something very interesting about this food festival. It's not for people, it's for monkeys. In Lopburi, Thailand, people bring all kinds of different fruits and leave them out for monkeys to eat. They bring pineapples, apples, mangoes, and bananas. Of course, it's the people way of saying that thank you to the monkeys that because tourists come to see the monkeys and that helps the people business is not that cool.
Thank you. Now everybody repeat after me, please. Interesting.
Interesting.
Pineapples.
Pineapple.
Pineapples.
Thank you. Let's continue with the bread up for the Day of the Dead. Then let's continue with Ana Ruth.
Bread for Day of the Bread. That Day of the Bread is very important day in Mexico. Many people celebrate their family members and friends by baking spell bread. They make bread in the spot of humans, flour, bones, and animal. The bread is sweet and sometimes is high honey, syrup, or orange, and it.
Thank you. Let's continue over here. Help me to read La Tomatina, please. My volunteer will be Georgina Eugenia, please.
People usually eat tomato, but there in Buñol, Spain, people who think, yes, that's correct. The word of Buñol has a thin tomato thick messy. By the end of the day, the squashed tomatoes all over town. There are 120 tons of squashed tomatoes.
Thank you so much. Help me please with the garlic festival. Esa uva maya. No, esa uva, but okay. Amber, help me with the garlic festival.
Okay, garlic festival. All over the world, people use garlic in their cooking. Some people in California in the US really like garlic. They like it so much that every year they celebrate it with a garlic festival. You can taste garlic in everything you can think of. There's even garlic ice cream and garlic popcorn.
Thank you so much. Help me, Pamela Jasmine, with the Monkey Buffet Festival.
Monkey Buffet Festival. There's something very interesting about this food festival. It's not for people, it's for monkeys. In Lopburi, Thailand, people bring all kinds of different fruits and leave them off for the monkeys to eat. They bring pineapples, apples, mangoes, and bananas, of course. It's the people's way of saying thank you to the monkeys. That's because tourists come to see the monkeys, and that helps the people business. Isn't that cool?
Thank you. Help me with the bread for the Day of the Dead. And let's continue with Jose Arturo.
Bread for the Day of the Dead. The day of the Dead is very important day in Mexico. Many people celebrate their family members and friends by baking space bread. They make bread in the shape of humans, flowers, ponds, and animals. The bread is sweet and sometimes it has a nice seed or orange in it.
Thank you. Help me over here, please, with La Tomatina Fatima.
People usually eat tomatoes, but once a year in Buñol, Spain, people just throw them. Yes, that's correct. The whole town of Buñol has a giant tomatoes fight. It's very messy. By the end of the day, there are squashed tomatoes all over town. In fact, there are 120 tons of the squashed tomatoes.
Thank you. And thank you guys for reading over there the text. I appreciate a lot. And let's continue over here. So over here, guys, we have some sentences saying we are going to correct them. For example, there is a big tomato fight in Mexico once a year. So is in Mexico? No.
No.
No. No.
No, it's still in Spain. So
It's
there is
in
a big
Spain.
tomato fight in Spain once a year. So we are going to correct the sentences with the correct answer. So let me share with you the sentences. And before we go to the breakup rooms, let me take the attendance real quick. Give me 1 second. Attendance. Here it is. Okay, let's start over here. And let's start with Alan, not here. Sorry, not here. Amber Fabiola, yes.
Present.
Ana Cecilia, yes.
Present.
Ana Ruth, yes. Carlos Mauricio.
Present.
Thank you. Corina Marisol.
Present, teacher.
Douglas Romeo.
Present.
Edith Gabriela.
Ayer, no.
Enrique Edgardo.
Present.
Esaú Wilfredo.
Present, present,
Let me
present.
Fátima Lucía.
Present.
Georgine Eugenia.
Present.
Gladys Margarita.
Present.
Maribel Rosemary. Hey, Selaide. Not today. Jacqueline Lisette. Yes.
I'm here.
Jose Arturo. Not here. Oh,
Present.
yes, it's there. Yes. What about Carla Janet? No, Carla Janet today. It's Kaylee Stephanie.
Present.
Marta Elena. Marvin Alejandro.
Present.
No, today, right. Mirna Raquel. Mirna Vanessa.
Present.
Let me see.
Present.
Norbia Ruth.
Present, teacher.
Just give me 1 second that I cannot see the rest. And let me go with Pamela Jasmine.
Present.
Thank you. Rosa Idalia.
Present.
Roxana Beatriz. Not here. Sandra Carolina.
Here.
Sandra Juliet.
Present.
Thank you. Tania Vanessa. No, today. Santos Elida.
I'm here.
Thank you. Silvia Noemi.
Present.
Thank you. And Fernando Edgardo. No, today. Now, thank you guys for connecting to the class. I appreciate a lot. Thank you so much for making the effort. And now tell me, correct the statements and tell me what is the correct answer for this sentences over. Remember, based on what you read. Let's go to the breakout rooms right now. Hey guys, let's check over here your answers. Let's check over here your sentences. And it says over here. People in California don't like garlic.
People in California like garlic.
Well, some people
Some
people
really
in
like garlic.
California.
Like
Get some people over there. Okay, now some people in the United States use tomatoes to make ice cream and popcorn.
No,
No.
use
some
garlic.
people use
some people
garlic.
in the US
They use
use it to
garlic.
They
make ice
use
cream and
garlic.
popcorn.
Garlic.
Thank you, good job. The Monkey Buffet Festival happens in Spain.
No,
No.
It's in
the
Thailandia.
buffet
Thailand.
festival
Thailand.
happened in Thailand.
Thailand. Now,
Thailand.
in Thailand, people give
Thailand.
fruit to the tourists.
No, it's the
No.
The
monkeys.
No.
It's
monkey.
for
The
the
monkeys.
monkeys.
And
It's the
The
monkeys.
No,
monkeys.
in Thailand, people give fruits to the monkeys.
Yes, that's correct.
It's
Some
false.
Mexicans make bread in the shape of houses or other buildings.
No, some Mexican make bread in the shape
Or
Yes, of
flowers. Fun.
flowers,
of
birds, and
humans.
animals.
Flowers.
Humans,
That's,
bones,
And
animals,
Humans, flowers,
yes,
bones, and animals.
flowers, flowers,
thank you so much.
human
That's
flowers.
correct.
Flower bombs, animal.
Thank you. That's correct. Now, thank you so much for your answers, guys. Thank you so much for connecting. Don't forget that this is the last week. Remember that we finish the level next Tuesday. So please don't forget to do your homework because that's important. See you tomorrow. God bless you. Bye. Have a wonderful
God
night.
bless.
Bye.
I
See
see you
Or
soon.
Ciao.
Bye.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Good night.
vamos.
Have a wonderful night.
See you tomorrow.
Night.
See you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.